Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. In this video, I'll be attempting to 100% Spider-Man Remastered. It's one of those games that I've been planning to play for a long time, but never actually got around to doing it. As I have in my previous 100% videos, I'll also be going for all of the achievements in this game too. This includes the DLC as well. So please sit back and relax and watch, and if you do enjoy, a like and a subscribe would go a long way in helping me just keep developing this channel. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Kingpin is the first enemy that you come across in Spider-Man, and he appears in the first level of the game. In this level, you fight your way through the building against Kingpin's goons, trying to get to him in his office on the top floor. Once you get to his office, you then face off against Kingpin himself. After doing this and then finishing the level, you get your first achievement of the game called Knocking Down Kingpin.
The Kingpin is heading to prison.
One of the collectibles in this game are backpacks. These are located all around the city and contain a little Easter egg to Spider-Man's story, the movies, the comics, all of that jazz. For collecting 5 of these across the city, you get the achievement Lost and Found.
I thought web swinging would let me get.
For some reason, my recording did not pick up the third achievement I got, which was the scientific method. You get this achievement by upgrading some of your equipment. One key part of the combat in Spider-Man is dodging the opponent's attacks. There's 2 types of dodges in this game, just your standard one and your perfect dodge. Perfect dodge stuns the attacker when you perform it. By performing 10 of these, you get the achievement Spider Sensible. Continuing through the story, you next come up against Electro at the bank. He's in the process of attempting to rob it as we interrupt him. This then leads to another old-fashioned scrap between the 2 of them.
Sorry, Herman.
After defeating Electro, you get the achievement Shock and Awe.
Everything I've worked on since high.
Swinging around the city, I got my next achievement, Wing It. Not really sure what the actual criteria for this achievement is, but it's just listed as Traverse through the city.
Looking at.
Another collectible within this game are Black Cat statues. As with backpacks and photography locations, they're scattered across the city, and to get 100% you do have to get every single one. For getting your first one in the story, you get the achievement Cats Out the Bag.
For some reason.
King of the Swing is the next achievement that I unlocked. As with some of the previous ones, this is just another one that you'll pick up swinging around the city. You get this achievement for completing level 1 traversal benchmark. The next story-related achievement you get is Demons Emerge. This achievement is unlocked after completing Act 1 of the game. In the level before this, we're introduced to Miles Morales and his dad. His dad is a police officer who's worked with Spider-Man and busted a few criminals. This meant that he was up for an award. Whilst collecting his award, there is an attack. The attack is to target the mayor, but in the chaos, unfortunately, Miles Morales' dad is killed. This truly throws Miles Morales into the Spider-Man story. Like the achievement King of the Swing, the achievement and Stay Down is related to a benchmark challenge. This time though, you have to get level 1 in the combat challenges. This again is very easy to do, and you will just get for beating up thugs throughout the game. As in most open world games, you have to do something to unlock each area of the map. In Spider-Man, to do this, you have to go around and activate all the surveillance towers on top of the buildings. By doing this, you get the achievement Amazing Coverage. Fast travelling in this game also exists. The fast travelling mechanic in this game though is riding the subway. After fast travelling 5 times, you get the achievement Born to Ride. Also scattered around Manhattan, there are challenges. These challenges have been set by Taskmaster and require Spider-Man to do a few different activities. One of these is to go and disarm 3 bombs within a certain amount of time. By completing one of these and getting a spectacular rating, you get an achievement called Short Fuse.
To perfection.
The next achievement I unlocked annoyingly also did not capture. This achievement was Snappy Dresser. This achievement is just for wearing 5 spider suits. As I said, unfortunately, I haven't got any footage of this, so just enjoy a footage of me running up a building.
Steal this.
After collecting all of the Black Cat statues across the map, you unlock a mission to go and finally get Black Cat herself. When you get there, you realise that she's gone and she's just left behind a little present for yourself. This present is a suit that you can wear throughout the rest of the game. After completing this mission, you get the achievement Cat Prince.
This couldn't all have just been a game, could it?
In Doc Oct's lab, there are two sort of little mini games that you can do. By completing both of these mini games all the way through, you get the achievement of Bitter of a Fixer-Upper. These mini games aren't too difficult, but once you get your head around the first few, you can sort of get through the rest pretty easily. Similar to the achievement Short Fuse, which I got earlier on in the game, you can get the achievement Spy Hunter. To get this, you just have to get Spectacular in a drone challenge that is set by Taskmaster. These are a bit more difficult than the bomb challenges that Taskmaster sets you, but because it's only Spectacular, you don't have to do incredibly well, just get some of the zones and do it in a quick enough time.
So close to perfection.
Another Taskmaster related challenge achievement would be the next achievement that I unlocked. This one was called Fists of Fury and probably is the easiest of the bunch because you just have to beat up a bunch of thugs in an area in a specific amount of time. To get a higher score, you just sort of have to mix up your attacks and just do it in a quick time. For getting Spectacular like in the other ones, you get the achievement Fists of Fury.
I can do better.
After completing 75 silent takedowns, I get the achievement Arachnophobia. This again is another one of those ones that you just sort of will collect throughout the game, as throughout the game you just get put in these stealth scenarios. There are many different bases around the map that are being held onto by the different factions across Manhattan. To 100% the game, you have to clear the enemies from each of these locations. Within these bases, if you're able to complete the challenges that are set, such as get 100 combo strike or do 3 silent attacks, you'll get the achievement Ace the Base. After crafting 15 upgrades, I got the achievement Science FTW. You can craft these upgrades by getting different tokens for completing different challenges around the map. Continuing with the story, Dr. Octopus goes mental after installing a chip into the back of his head that completely alters his mindset and mentality. Due to this, he then breaks out all of the villains that I've spent the entire game putting into jail back out of jail. This is why the next achievement is called the Six Assemble, which is a reference to the Sinister Six. Alongside breaking all the villains out, they give Spider-Man a real beating, setting up the final act in the game.
Good idea. In fact, we don't have to do this at all if you don't want to.
We definitely want to.
First and final warning. Stay out of our way.
As you swing around the city, you'll come across crimes that are occurring, and you have to complete a certain amount of these in each of the areas to sort of help to get towards that 100% mark. One of these crimes is to stop a vehicle that's been stolen, or like one that's going around causing a load of carnage. After completing 10 vehicle takedowns, you'll get the achievement Overdrive. Now it's time to get the Sinister Six back in jail. The first two of them to go after were Electro and Vulture. After battling against the both of them and having a good old scrap, I got the achievement Grinding All the Way. This achievement is for maxing out one of the benchmark challenges. After finally defeating Vulture and Electro, I got the achievement Grounded. It was now time to move on to the next members of the Sinister Six. As mentioned previously, there are crimes that are constantly going on across Manhattan. After eliminating all the crimes in one of the areas of Manhattan, you get the achievement Neighborhood Watch.
If you're not good at breaking or entering,
After collecting all the backpacks across Manhattan, you'll get the achievement Backpacker. Alongside getting the achievement, you also get another Spidey suit, which is just another little nice addition to get.
rejected costume design.
One of the cooler Easter eggs in this game is Ben Parker's gravestone. By going to the cemetery and finding this gravestone, you get the achievement with great power. Obviously this is a reference to the very famous saying that's basically Spider-Man's identity, I suppose. The next two members of the Sinister Six that we went after was Rhino and Scorpion. After fighting with them and then beating them, we get the achievement Sting and Smash. This then just leaves us with the last two members, Mr. Negative and Dr. Octopus.
Do you know what Octavius will do if he finds out you failed? I failed? Yes, you freak show!
Instead of going after two this time, I just focused on going after Mr. Negative. After a long fight with him, fighting demons, ghouls, a big sort of monster demon as well, we finally got the better of him and beat him. This got me the achievement, Staying Positive. This then just left Dr. Octopus as the final member of the Sinister Six to defeat and put back in jail. After having beaten all of the remaining members of the Sinister Six, I now put all my attention on taking out Dr. Octopus. After a long fight on the roof and down the side of the building, I finally got the better of him, destroying his legs and sending him to prison where he belongs.
You look tired, Parker. Not tired. Just hurt. If you want to change the world, you have to be the kind of man who can make the hardest decisions. I couldn't agree more. No! The anti-serum.
After defeating Dr. Octopus, this then gave me the final story achievement in the game. This achievement is Endgame and is basically just for completing the main story. Now that the main story missions were complete, it was time to go through and collect all the remaining achievements. The first of these was Master's Education. This was one of the more tricky ones as it required me to get Ultimate in one of the Taskmaster's challenges. As I mentioned earlier, I found that the bomb ones were the easiest, so gave it a couple of goes and then eventually got it.
Feeling pretty good about myself right now.
The final collectible that is in this game were pigeons. Swinging around the city, there were 12 lots of pigeons to find and capture. You capture them just by chasing them down, getting close enough, and then using your web to bring it in. After collecting all 12 pigeons, you get the achievement Pigeon Hunter. Alongside the main story, there is also a collection of side missions that you can complete at any point in the game, really. I left these to the end just so I could concentrate on the main story. One of these achievements is the hunt for missing students that have been taken over by Mr. Negative's mind control and rescue them from the state that they're in. After rescuing all the students, you get the achievement Schooled. After going around and taking the final photo of the final landmark in Manhattan, I got the achievement Sightseeing. This was quite a fun little collectible thing to do, and it's a bit different than just going around and just pressing Y on things, so it was good fun. The next side mission I worked towards completing was going after Tombstone. The final mission of this little side campaign consists of a big old brawl with Tombstone himself. After beating him up and then putting him in prison, I get the achievement Tombstone Takedown. Alongside this, as this was also the last of the side missions for me to complete, I got the achievement Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The next achievement I unlocked was Superior Spider-Man. Again, with getting these tokens for completing the bases and challenges, I was finally able to upgrade all of the skills, which unlocked this next achievement. Scattered across the map are little science stations which Harry Osborn Peter Parker's friend, has set up before he went off on his little holiday. By going to each of these and completing the task for Harry, you get a token which you can use towards your upgrades. After completing all of these stations and all the tasks, you then get the achievement R&D.
Harry's work is safe.
One of the more tricky but also fun achievements was So Many Hits. To get this achievement, you just had to get 100 combo. This sounds easy enough, but some of the attacks that the thugs will throw, like Molotovs randomly, can really disrupt that combo. So after a few attempts, I finally got it. But it was one of those ones that I would have imagined that I would have got earlier on in the game, but no, I had to go back and do it. So it was a bit of a strange one. Similar to a couple of the other achievements I've got previously, Full Arsenal just requires you to unlock all of the gadgets in the game. After continuing to progress towards 100%, I got the achievement Challenge Finder. This achievement is just for completing every single one of Taskmaster's challenges. Thankfully, you don't actually have to get a particular score or rating, you just have to complete them, so again, this is quite an easy one to get.
So neurotic, I'm mad I didn't perform flawlessly for a
Charity cases.
After completing all of Taskmaster's challenges, again, regardless of the result or grade you get, Taskmaster then appears and you have to fight him one-on-one. They've been watching you complete all of these challenges, so in their mind, they know all of your skills and attacks. After getting the better hand of them and beating them in this one-on-one fight, you get the achievement Master of Masters.
School's out, Taskmaster. Why are you stalking me?
An organization hired me to see if you're worth recruiting.
Nah.
Moving on to the final few achievements in this game, it was time to get rid of all the bases scattered about Manhattan. There are 4 different types of bases that are being controlled by 4 different factions across Manhattan. These are Kingpin's Men, a Sable Outpost, prisoner camps, and demon warehouses. For eliminating each of these, you get an achievement. I'm not going to show you me getting every one of these achievements because they're very repetitive and basically consist of the same thing. Get into the base, eliminate the enemies, complete the challenges if you can. Once you've done this for all of the bases across the map, you'll get the achievement All the King's Men, Back in the Slammer, Inner Sanctuary, and Mercenary Tactics. You can greet citizens in this game by walking around the streets and tapping X. When you do this 10 times and greet 10 citizens, you get the achievement Spider-Man About Town. This is one of those achievements I have no clue how I didn't get really early on because it's very simple, but I don't think I even knew this mechanic or little game feature existed. The final achievement that I got in the first playthrough of this game was Hug It Out. This achievement requires you to use trip mines and stick enemies together. Once you've done this to 10 enemies, you'll get the achievement. I didn't really use trip mines through my first playthrough because I didn't realise quite how good they were. I definitely used them a lot more in my second playthrough, which is coming up next. Next up was my second playthrough of the game. When you complete your first playthrough, you unlock the difficulty option of Ultimate. To get all of the achievements in this game, you then have to complete a playthrough on the Ultimate difficulty. Alongside this, you also unlock New Game Plus, which is pretty common in games like this. And like the Power and Responsibility achievement, you then have to complete a playthrough on New Game Plus. I then combined these 2 achievements and played the game again, but on New Game Plus and the Ultimate difficulty. With all the upgrades and extended health, this wasn't too difficult, and it was quite good fun to play through and have a bit more of a challenge than on my previous playthrough. And then the final achievement in the base game that I got was A Suit for All Seasons. This achievement was for collecting every single suit in the game. This achievement I did need to go through the second playthrough to get more tokens in the challenges, bases and stuff, but I think you can do that in the DLC if you choose to do it that way. This was a really good fun game to play, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, something that I was looking forward to getting around to at some point. I'm glad it held up to my expectations, and the 100%ing and achievements were good fun within it as well. There's a good mixture of combat related, challenge related, and sort of collectible grindy achievements, so I think most people would probably quite enjoy doing it. In the next video, I will be completing the DLC for this game. I was going to put it in the end of this video, but I think it would just get too long and maybe a bit too boring just to add again, because a lot of the achievements are quite repetitive to the main game. As I've mentioned in previous videos, if anyone ever has any suggestions on games that I should look at or play, I'm more than happy to do so because I'm really enjoying going for the 100%. I'm currently looking at playing Sleeping Dogs, so hopefully I'll be able to have that video out at some point in the near future. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, and any comments really, or any advice or sort of suggestions, those are very much appreciated.